Thank you for joining me today, Mike MDs. Today we are working on a 2004 BMW 3 Series and we're replacing the expansion tank today because it has a crack down the side of it. A 10mm socket for these bolts that hold this air box in here. Right, next thing we're gonna want to take this fan out here. It's a 32 wrench. I have a skinny wrench here and it's part of a fan tool set. So the fan is reverse thread. If you don't have the whole fan clutch tool kit and you just have the wrench, you can use a hammer. I've done it quite a few times. You can see the smaller the hammer, actually the better, but it's got to be a steel, no rubber mallet or anything like that, because the vibration, the resonance. Bigger hammer is just going to cause damage to the pump. We're going to go towards normally the way you would tighten it. Take these connectors off here. There's a Torx bit T25 going in this way, holding the fan shroud in. We're going to take that off. This side here has a plastic little rivet that holds it in. You can use a plastic rivet tool or anything that looks like that. And when you pull this fan shroud out, you want to pull it out with the fan together as one unit. Just like that. And on this one, because this is an older car, I'm going to replace this upper hose and also the hose that connects to the tank on the bottom there. So I have a catch can underneath here that's going to catch this fluid that when it comes out. Pull these little tabs up on the hose. There's a little one here underneath the cap. And I kind of like to use a screwdriver and put it in between the frame right here and the edge of this hose to help pry it out. Because if you just start wiggling on it like that, you could damage the plastic neck on the radiator. There we go. And this one here, same thing. I use this. So we're going to replace this hose. Okay, on this tank, there's a clip at the bottom here. You're going to want to pull that just like that. All right. And there's this hose that goes to the tank right here. You can see how it's turning brown. It's about to break or leak. So that's the hose we're gonna replace as well. That goes to the back down in there. That also has a little clip that you gotta get up there. And you can use a long pry bar or pull on it. This one's a little tougher. Got a pry bar on it here. There it is. All right, now lifting this tank up off this thing is kind of difficult. There's a seal underneath that kind of welds itself to the bottom portion here. I usually like to do this little trick. It helps keep the cap on right here. I'll get a pry bar against the body right here and kind of just use a fulcrum action to get it up. There it is. All right, disconnect the level sensor underneath. There it is. So here's the tank. This one had a crack right here, and that's why it was leaking. What we're also going to do, because it's usually one-time use only, if you have an automatic transmission, this is a little coolant thermostat for your transmission, and it usually will break upon removal of the tank. Getting this out is kind of a chore, but I have a little trick for you. If you try to use pliers, a lot of times they'll just start breaking up into little pieces. You can pull it out that way. I have some C-ring pliers. You can stick that in there, squeeze as it spreads, and usually pull it out that way. There we are, just like that. All right, here's a new thermostat right here, and it goes in just like that. And you want to lube everything with some Vaseline. And if you see there's a little notch right here, it lines up with the notch right in here. So you just index it just like that, and you push down. And there it is. Now we can go back together with a tank. All right, we're about to go on with the new tank. The new tank should come with a level sensor here. And if you're like me, I had to replace this hose that went to the bottom portion of this here. And that's this hose here, and that goes all the way back to the heater core. They usually call it a heater hose. and it's this left one right here. And it's pretty long. It's not too hard to get to. Just take off this microfilter section over here, those components there. That comes out. You have pretty easy access right there to get to that hose. This thing has 200,000 miles, so it's you know, it's something like that might happen to you. Not a big deal. Also, something that might happen to you is this mount right here might break. I just ended up replacing it. It looked old. I just ordered one for them. I don't want to go back in here and have to replace this. This is called the expansion tank mount. It doesn't come with this piece here. That's detachable. And you're going to want to place the little O-rings that go to this transmission cooler if you have an automatic transmission on here. So, and there's two Torx bits, T25s, one on the side here, one on the side at the very bottom right there that holds this thing on. Pops out the bottom, lifts up. Not too big of a deal there. So we're going to line the bottom up right there, and then also there's a hook. You see that hook? You want that hook to go in that hole. See that right there? So then when you click down, it all lines up together. There it is. It's in. Make sure this is clipped in. It's solid. Pull up on it so it doesn't come out. Connect the level sensor connection there and start putting it back together. We're going back together with the shroud. There's a couple little tabs down here that line up at the very bottom there. It should go in pretty easy. No forcing necessary. It has a pretty good memory of where it was at. Now, if it's a new shroud, then it kind of has a problem, but I kind of just get it like this, just kind of nicely. There it is. Look at that. This falls right in. Not a problem there. I'm going to put the fan on right now, and I waited to put this hose on so I have room with my hand right here because it's a little difficult. And remember, these are reverse threads, so we're going to loosen it to tighten it actually. So I got lucky here first try. And all you have to do is pull on it and give it a few taps. That's enough. That's enough tightening it, because the rotation of the engine is the opposite direction of this, so it's not going to come off. Clear hose. But also you're going to want to do this like a sandwich and pull it towards that. There should have two clicks, one on the radiator and one on the tank. If you just push the whole thing in, it's not going to be in on the tank there. So it's on both right now. All right, now I'm bleeding this thing. You want to use a 50-50 mix of coolant, and BMW uses the blue style coolant here. Screw here, I've already topped it off to the top, and it's going to bleed it, all the air out. Not all of it, we're going to do the rest later with running the engine. So we're going to fill this up until we see coolant bubble out of the bleeder screw right here, okay? Another good idea before you start it is get some water in a jug and then rinse off this whole area. Just get all the residue off here. Also on the drive belt, you don't want any of that stuff on the drive belt because it'll kind of leach into the rubber and cause squeaks, especially in the morning when you start it up. All right, now we're gonna put the cap on here, go inside, and we're gonna start it up and bleed it. All right, now because this is a mechanical water pump and not an electric one, what we're gonna do is start the engine. We're gonna turn the heater on. I like to do it to the floor. Turn it on all the way, turn the AC button off. All right, and then I like to rev it to around 2,000 until you start feeling heat on the floorboard there. Usually it takes like about 5 minutes for that whole thing. Double check for any leaks. Let it cool down if you need to top it off. It might burp itself. You might get a low coolant light level come on there, and then test drive it. Thanks for joining me today, Mike MDs. I'll see you on the next one. Happy motoring to you.